hello, how are you? Won't you tell me your name? Getting a little discombobulated here with my quotes, aren't I? Come on my lap? You can come on my lap. Catastrophe. If you want a thing done, go yourself. If you want a thing done right, go yourself. You can't ask others to do something for you and then come down on them for not living up to your expectations and your standards of how the thing should have been done. Unless you are a boss and you're directing your employees to do their job the way their job is supposed to be done and they fail to do that. In all other circumstances, if you ask your spouse to do you a favor or do a house chore and they don't live up to your standards, don't come down on them for not living up to your standards. They're your standards. Everyone has different standards. You also can't expect them to do it your way. Everyone has a different way of doing things that we do. If you want it done up to your expectations and your way, you do it. Also, in society, back to the we're all waiting for Mahatma Gandhi thing, if you see a problem without a solution, and it is in your intellectual capacities, physical capacities, to come up with a solution, come up with a way of assisting, even financial, sweat equity, volunteering, for a gap that exists, a problem that exists. If it needs doing, don't wait around for someone else to do it. You do it. Further, the way I'd really like to take this quote is we often think about us, me, I, and how everything in the world relates to me, myself, and I. My relationship would be better if my partner pulled their weight. My job would be better if my coworkers didn't tattle all the time, or it was less or more this or that. If my boss were less of a tyrant, my employment would be better. We tend not to think about what we're bringing to the situation. We can't control others. We can't control outcomes. Only thing we can control is our thinking to a degree, our emotions to a degree, and our reactions, actions, and behaviors, our responses, our choices, the way we choose to behave and what we choose to bring to the table. So the next time you find yourself complaining about a situation, a person, a place, if you want more adventure in your life, think about what you are doing to be adventurous. What are you bringing to the table? If you want more humor in your life, more lightheartedness, think about what you are doing to be lighthearted, not looking around you for an adventure and lighthearted people to fall into your lap. Like attracts like. The more you bring those things you want out of yourself and contribute those things into the world, the more you attract like-minded situations and things into your life. If you want more passion in your relationship, you can't make your partner do anything, but you can consider, what have I been doing lately? to pull my own weight? What have I been doing lately to contribute to this relationship? To contribute passion, spontaneity, excitement, novelty, compliments, etc. to this relationship, romance. What have I been doing? Take stock of you in the situation. And by virtue of you reintroducing that into your relationship, by and large, highly likely, it will be reciprocated. It might take a minute because it might be a change of pace. You might have been in a lull for a while. But it will be reciprocated by the warm, fuzzy feelings that are created, the passionate ignition that is created, the closenesses that created in your partner from your doing the work, from your putting in the effort. So, in friendships, how friendly are you being? How much are you reaching out? Think, my friends never call me. No one ever calls me. How often do you call them? How often do you visit them? How often do you talk at them versus listen to them? How often do you ask how they're doing and be a truly active listener? Not waiting to insert your response or waiting to solve their problems, but just listening to them. How much are you contributing to that friendship? You can't expect to get back what you're not willing to give. Whatever circumstances you find yourself in, consider what you yourself are bringing to the table before you start asking, why isn't anyone else? Why isn't everything else? Where is this at in my life? Where did it go? Why isn't it here? Try bringing it to bear yourself first. In society, again, if you see a problem and you might have a solution or you might have a contribution, do it. Offer it. Give it. And in evening out relationships and disagreements that never had to start to begin with, recognize that everyone's way of doing a thing, everyone's way of looking at a thing, what one person defines as messy, another person defines as clean, one person defines as orderly, another person defines as anal. We all have different processes, we all have a different perspective. We all have a different way of doing things and way of seeing things. And so if you want a thing done right according to you, and done your way according to you, then you had better do it. If you just want it done, and you're willing to have the humility and detachment to allow another person to process it in their own way, and just be grateful that someone is willing to do something for you, that you ask of them or don't ask of them. Like my partner doing my dishes for me. He puts all the silverware, forks, and knives in one bin. They don't get separated where they belong. I can always get to that later. I don't jump on him for that because he's done me a huge favor a multitude of times. He does things different than I do because he's different than I am. If I want it done my way, I better go do it. And when he does it, I don't expect him to do it my way. I expect him to do it his way. And if I don't like how it's done, then I can go back in and rearrange it later. It's my stuff. And I appreciate that just because it's my way doesn't mean it's the right way. Doesn't mean it's a better way. It's just my way. I appreciate his effort. I appreciate his doing. I appreciate the gesture of kindness. I don't critique or criticize or try to control or direct or minimize his way of operating, especially when it's something that he's doing for me or something I have asked him to do for me. If he doesn't do it exactly the way I envision it or the way that I would have done it, well, then I should have done it myself. So those are my 3 comments on this quote. If you want a thing done, go yourself. If it's undone, not finished, not done up to your expectations, done in a different way than you prefer, etc., then you should have done it yourself with your own unique way, perspective, approach, and opinion on how you like a thing done and to be done to completion. Don't nag, negate other people for their processes. The only, like I said, exception to this is if you are a boss training an employee and it has to be done in an exact and specific way to an exact and specific caliber, then it's part of your job description to make sure that that is done correctly and to a specific way and up to a specific caliber. But unless you're a boss, don't be bossy. Have humility and gratitude instead. And in society, contribute and solve those problems that you see in those spaces that are lacking or don't have enough or don't even exist yet. If you can come up with a solution, do it. They are needed. If you recognize a problem and you have a solution, find a way to make that happen. And if you see a problem and there's already a solution, organization, chain of command processes, find a way to contribute if it matters to you. And you notice that there's a need, provide it. And by and large and in general, when you move through this life, when you find yourself noticing an absence of fun, too much boredom, too little friends, too little adventure, too little passion, too little intimacy, too little laughter, rather than asking yourself, when is it going to show up at my door, or who is going to provide it for me, ask yourself, when's the last time I brought any of those things to bear in my own life and in my own circumstances and to other people in my own atmosphere, and try to create it yourself. And it will foster reactions in others that are similar. It will create more of those things, but you have to be the match that lights the fire. If there are things that you want, go yourself. Good morning, goodbye, good day. Sorry about yesterday's video. I was really out of it and short on time. I had a doctor's appointment and I made a bad video. Forever Now. It's forever now on the internet in terrible video. I still have my cover. A few months in. We'll see how long I can keep it. And think about it. Think about some things that you're missing in your life. And think if there are ways that you yourself can begin to foster them. Good morning. Goodbye! Yay, another another day.